Hey everyone, welcome back. You ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to jump in.
Awesome. Today we're tackling a project that's, well, huge EE is an understatement, right?
Awfully massive.
The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam,
Hmm.
the GERD. This thing is seriously changing the landscape, literally.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've got some excerpts from a text, and let me tell you, this thing is packed with info. We're going to unpack the dam's progress, the potential benefits, and of course, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, all the controversy swirling around it.
It's a hot topic, that's for sure.
So first things first, this dam is practically finished, over 97% complete, according to this text.
That's right. And get this, it's been largely funded by everyday Ethiopians.
Wow, people putting their own savings into this.
Yeah, I mean, think about that for a second. It really shows how much this project means to them. It's not just some government thing. It's a symbol of national pride.
Totally. This source even calls it a sign of self-reliance for Ethiopia, like they're taking their future into their own hands.
Exactly. It's pushing back against that old narrative of dependence on foreign aid.
So let's talk about the potential here. This dam is set to make Ethiopia a serious energy player. We're talking over 6,000 megawatts of electricity.
6,000. Enough to power millions of homes and businesses.
That's insane. But I'm wondering, does the source say anything about Ethiopia's power grid? Can it even handle that much electricity?
That's a good question. The source doesn't really get into the nitty-gritty of the grid's capacity, but it does talk a lot about the potential economic transformation.
Right, because this isn't just about keeping the lights on in Ethiopia.
Not even close. This kind of power could turn Ethiopia into a hub for energy-intensive industries. Think about it. Manufacturing, data center.
Well, even cryptocurrency mining.
Exactly, all powered by the GRD. The source really paints a picture of attracting foreign investment, creating jobs. It's a big deal.
No doubt. We're talking about a serious amount of power here, and that's got to have implications for the entire region, right?
Absolutely. This source really emphasizes that. It talks about the GERD turning Ethiopia into a regional energy hub, helping to boost development across all of East Africa.
That's the positive spin, but we can't ignore the other side of the coin. Egypt, for example, isn't exactly thrilled with this whole thing.
Yeah, they've voiced some concerns.
To put it mildly, they're worried the dam will basically strangle the Nile downstream.
Right, they're worried about water scarcity. But this source actually calls that fear false propaganda.
Strong words.
The source claims that the GERD is actually designed to benefit everyone along the Nile.
Okay, so how does that work? How can a dam that holds back water actually help downstream?
Well, the source talks about the dam's flood control mechanisms. Think of it like this. During the rainy season, the GERD can hold back the excess water.
Like a giant reservoir.
Exactly. And then it can release that water gradually, preventing those crazy floods that have always been a problem in the region.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's more controlled.
Right. This regulated flow could be really helpful for Sudan, especially. They often get hit hardest by those floods.
And it's not just about holding water back, right?
Nope. It's also about releasing it strategically.
Yeah.
So the dam can make sure there's a consistent flow downstream, even when it's dry, which is super important for agriculture in both Egypt and Sudan.
Interesting. So it's not just Ethiopia hoarding all the water.
Not at all. This source is presenting it as a win-win-win. All the countries along the Nile can benefit, they say.
And speaking of wins, the source points out that Sudan is actually on board with the project.
Exactly. It really pushes back against that idea that this is a zero-sum game, that one country has to lose for another to win.
Definitely paints a different picture. All right, so to recap, we've talked about the sheer scale of this project, the potential it has, and the controversy that just won't quit. Big picture, what are the key takeaways from this source?
Well, it's pretty clear the source is pro-GERD. It really highlights how this dam could turn Ethiopia into a powerhouse, a regional leader in energy, boosting economic growth and development for everyone.
And it downplays the concerns from Egypt and Sudan.
To a certain extent, yes. It insists that the dam is designed to benefit everyone involved. It's pushing a positive narrative.
A very optimistic viewpoint.
Definitely.
Okay, well, I think we've given everyone a pretty good glimpse into the GERD story, the ambitious goals, the potential benefits, and yeah, all the complexities that come with a project this massive.
For sure.
So, to our listeners, what are your thoughts? What questions does this raise for you? What are you curious about? Keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, there's always more to discover. Until next time.
See ya.